Okay, we're going to take a look at number 11 in the Quadrilaterals Homework. So they give us a diagram here. We want to solve for x. I see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 congruent sides, and so I know this is a rhombus. All right, property of a rhombus, 4 congruent sides. I want to try to use these properties of a rhombus to find an equation that I can put these two in and then solve for x. I know that the diagonals inside of a rhombus bisect the vertex angles. So that means this diagonal cuts this vertex angle right in here into 2 equal halves. That's what bisect means. Cut it into 2 equal halves. So this little angle right in here, 3x squared minus 2x, this bisection right here, has to equal this bisection right here, 11x plus 10. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. 3x squared minus 2x has to equal 11x plus 10. All right. Again, we have a quadratic equation. We do have an x term, so I'm going to try to factor this. Get all terms to one side, have it equal 0, and then see if I can split it into 2 parentheses that would multiply together. So subtract 11x from both sides, subtract 10 from both sides, 3x squared minus 13x minus 10 equals 0. All right. Now we really can't factor this 3 out of all of these terms. This term is not divisible by 3. This term is not divisible by 3. So I'm going to try to factor it using the method of finding a number that possibly multiplies to 30 and adds to 13. So I want to find factors of negative 30, because 3 times negative 10 is negative 30, that add to get negative 13. That add to get negative 13, because that's our middle term right in here. Oh, right away. How about 10 and 3? Well, one of these factors is going to have to be negative. The other one's going to have to be positive, because this is negative 30. If we had negative 10 and positive 3, that wouldn't add to negative 13. That would add to negative 7. So, factors of 30. 15 and 2? Hey! 15 times 2. If I had negative 15 and positive 2, these would add to get negative 13, and they would multiply to get negative 30, and they would add to get negative 13, right? So these are our two numbers we want to use right here. And remember, what we do with these two numbers is we split this middle term up with coefficients of negative 15 and positive 2x. So we're going to rewrite this equation right here as 3x squared minus 15x plus 2x, don't forget about this minus 10, equals 0. And now I want to group these and find the greatest common factor in these two terms and in these two terms, and we'll see what we can do. We have a factor of 3x here and a factor of 3x here. That's our greatest common factor, so I'm going to factor that out. 3x, if I divide this by 3x, I have x left over, and if I divide this by 3x, I have minus 5. Bring down my plus. What can I factor out of this? Both terms, the greatest common factor looks like it's going to be 2. So 2, if I factor 2 out of here, we have x, and we factor 2 out of here, we have 5. All right, this looks beautiful. Look what we have here. Factor x minus 5, factor of x minus 5. So we can factor that out, both of those terms. and we have x minus 5 times 3x plus 2. This equals 0. This equals 0. Now we have our two factors. We can set this equal to 0, so x has to equal 5. We can set this factor equal to 0, so x has to equal negative 2/3. So these are our two solutions. X equals 5 and x equals negative 2/3. Let's just double check to make sure both of these answers will work for positive angles. The negative one is what we have to check for. If we put negative 2/3 into here times 11 and we add 10, that will still be positive, so we don't have a problem. Both of those solutions will work.